Talk too much with strangers. Get way too serious around family. And I don't have any wishes, but when I kiss you, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep. And our hands melt. It started out as teasing, but I had deeper meaning when I touched your chest. Now I don't know how, but if I did, and I don't have any wishes, but when I kiss you, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep. And our hands melt. But if I did, and I don't have wishes, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep. And our hands melt.
Happy holidays, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Redirect Monthly. It's the 18th installment, the first time we have found ourselves on Star GG. We've made the transition, we've gone over, and we've made record-breaking numbers as well. Let me get the exact stat for you. It's honestly incredible how far this tournament has come. I believe we have got 53 confirmed full teams, which is 18 higher than our previous peak. And to match that peak, of course, I had to be matched with a peak caster. Of course, it's myself, Sir Pegasus, alongside the legendary Quanzak.
I don't know if I deserve that healthy of an intro, but I am
I
thankful
absolutely
for
do.
it. You know, we were in the booth for the first time ever last week for Benelux. I am more than happy to be back here sharing the booth with you. And it's alongside a groundbreaking monthly here at Redirect. The number of teams switching over to start. There's a lot of things in play here, and you know, it's a really good wrap up to what I feel like has been a very productive 2024 for us here in this neck of the woods of Redirect, as well as Rocket League in general. You gotta take the good with the bad, and I think everybody in the community is hopeful going into 2025, and I'm really excited for the proverbial send-off that we will have here for us and everybody at home watching.
Yeah, in the general Rocket League environment, of course, there's been a bit of a mishmash of good news and bad news, but one of those great news is, of course, that off-season tournament, which opens up tomorrow. So a lot of these teams are looking for a little bit of last-minute practice and to get themselves, of course, a redirect monthly title. We've seen many champions in the past find their way across, and it is time to add another. Here we are in the upper finals. It's going to be Ananas Gang versus velocityrll. Of course, he'll be plugging his own Twitch, but we do implore you to stay over here at Redirect. We spoke about leaps and bounds. We spoke about improvements. We have got that affiliate status. We've got record-breaking numbers, and we have got one final monthly before Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have gone underway.
Here's the opening kickoff with the adrenaline flowing. Ananas Gang, velocityrll, you gave them a worthy intro. And here we are off to the races. Some early kickoff woes and, you know, both these teams, they're going to vibe out. They're going to see how things go, and that'll be an early save, by the way, of Nick Beast.
And Gaharis will bring this ball forward, and Nick Beast FC, of course, players we know all too well. They are great teammates. They found great success in European-based tournaments, including Benelux, but this team on the other side find themselves all across different regions. Europe, SSA, I know they've also got some contributions in Swiss tournaments as the 1 out of 3 in the 2/3 rule. These guys are grinders, finding themselves across all around the world, but here in East Redirect Monthly, it's a lot of European talent, and it takes quite a lot nowadays that we're so huge to get yourself in these high spots, to get yourself on stream. They start in the upper final, but they've got themselves up to a fantastic start.
Oh, this one's gonna try just north of the crossbar. It turns into a transition play going back the opposite direction. Ananas Gang been stuck in their half for the majority of this opener, but that demo could open up some space here. Here's Kahira's flip reset. Gonna use it, get towards the middle. Nick Beast trying to bully his way in. That won't find Pater though, and back the other way comes Velocity and Crew trying to slot it in, but that one won't find fruition on the opposite end here, Pegasus.
Oh, and Glisty finds the shots! And there is the opening score found. velocityrll have had so much pressure in this opening stage. It felt like this was the gift they had to get eventually. Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. velocityrll have taken the lead.
Only a matter of time. You get to those points in Rocket League, in these game stages, where the pace of play, the momentum that is building, you're gonna crack at some point. I mean, already 7 shots to 1, make it 8 to 1 with that one that you just saw tallied on the board. This has been a dominant showing, and we're barely 2 minutes in. Not to say that things can't change, but for what is essentially a trial headed into the open 3v3 this weekend, I'm sure TTV, Velocity, and Crew are very happy with things are going up to this point.
Absolutely, and I'm sure it's bustling in their Twitch chats as well. They're finding great success in these opening stages. There's another big ball forward motion, put on the back of his own back wall. However, that's still going to invite pressure here from Nick Beast. Ball off the corner, and still they are not out the woods yet. Ananas Gang finally finding some space to exploit. Velocity will leave that one to a teammate. The double commit is prevented. Rare whiff coming out there from Nick Beast. Gaharis will try and play it off that side wall. They're struggling to break its way into the center, but at least they have some of that forward ground. Small signs of improvement, but velocityrll are too quick out the gates.
Well, not as it stands right now. A little bit of a brief hiatus before it's sending immediately right back on the backboard. And if you're a fan of Ananas Gang, you're very happy with this change of pace. A trying save coming out here from Gahiris. He'll be in charge of getting this ball over the midfield line. Thought he had Defsy lying in the weights, but they have to turn around and address that one as they go sailing to their own back wall. Blackjack motion off the corner. And this one, again, not willing to make its way past that midfield line. Velocity, really good interception there. A demo on the back end means it's Nick Beast as a one-man show, and there's just nothing going here offensively.
In motion, Looks to find Velocity, wants that redirect, doesn't quite land on it. Tried to act as that fake, but DevC still able to tap that one out. Ball finds its way in field, however. They're so much better at doing it at the moment. velocityrll just make these dangerous circumstances. They don't spend too much time in the corner. They're not wasting their time in these safe areas. They're so quick on the transition. They're so fast just in general. In the air, on ground, it feels like every single blade of grass they're able to dominate at this point. It feels like a miracle that it's only 1-0. Looking to change that right now is the Ananas gang offense. They need this in the final 40 seconds. Still hopes for an overtime in our opener.
Yeah, you have to take the good with the bad, right? And if you are looking at the blue side here for Ananas gang, your takeaway is that the defense has been stellar. The offense, as a result, has been non-existent, but when tasked defensively, they've hardly let anything through. It's been solid saves when it's needed, clears before things get too dangerous, and they're poisoning themselves for maybe a last-second comeback here. They need to get something on the board now. There's a save. Trying to keep the ball alive as his clock's gonna hit 0 seconds. Kahira's full tank of boost for the ball in his own half. That's a really good touch. Keeps alive off the ramp of the backbone, plays it out. Wow. It's over. DevC Nick shot on to last second save though. And that one will hit the turf. The last second heroics avoided from Ananas gang. And Velocity and his teammates gonna get away in what ended up being a nail-biter at the end there.
Absolutely, they definitely picked up the pace later into it. Ananas gang, they had 5 shots. velocityrll had 5 saves. So when these shots were coming, they were impactful. They did force out some of these reactions, but velocityrll, they may have not had the most practice in defense compared to their opposing team, who have had to be battered by 14 shots in that first game. But overall, a 1-0 scoreline, that's okay. Ananas gang can work off that. They got the shots towards the end to make that a bit of a worthwhile game. I feel like if it wasn't for that improved second half, I feel like that 1-0 scoreline still would have felt a bit tough because they wouldn't have really had any chances to come back. But they were able to prove themselves. They were able to bring up some momentum, but will that be able to match Velocity? That's to be found out in game 2. Of course, it is best of 5. So there's still plenty of opportunities to show themselves, but that advantage to not have to reverse sweep has to start now.
Yeah, and you know, I think to your point, that momentum change at the end of the game to feel like you could do something against this orange team of Velocity and what the teammates he's brought to the table, it has to feel good given how that game started, right? We were 2 minutes in, that first goal went in, and there was no hope of you even exiting your half. And to have it end in the result that it did, Pineapple Gang doing pretty well here as it stands, but the musty even better from Velocity.
And they found that opening goal yet again. This one came a bit quicker. Lovely tricks there from Velocity as well, and Nick Beast thought he found himself in a perfect spot, but he really had the time when he was going to use that boost. And when you don't know when the shot's coming, when those delayed flicks come across, they are so hard to stop. But that one, they can just chalk off after that kickoff goal.
Yeah, you'll take them back any way you can, and shutting down that momentum that would have built off a brilliant mechanical play from Velocity there, it feels very good to immediately have that equalizer kickoff goal. Kickoff goals always take the wind out of everybody's sails. No matter what side you're on, it feels bad always. But you'll take them when you have them, and we're all tied up at 1 apiece, only 20 seconds into this game.
Ball in field here. Velocity will be bumped off it. DevC look to take advantage of that space, but huge 50-50s coming from Velocity. Send that ball back. They've allowed themselves to regroup. There's still not much boost in that defense, so now they're going to have to be perfect. That double commit does worry me, but Glyfty has done so well with it. Infield pass is played. Nick Beast gets in the way, and this very high boost defense looks to turn to offense, but Velocity do so well considering the situation they've put themselves in, and have slowed down this play fantastically. Now here they are, well positioned and prepared to take on another Ananas gang onslaught.
DevC in charge of playing that ball across the crease of the goal line. Nick Beast really good high ladder interception there along the ceiling, but it won't amount to much Breaking out of their own half is Velocity. No further than Gahiris trying to get physical in the back end. Nick Beast to Gahiris over the front. Not necessarily on the same page. I do respect the discipline play from Devsy, not wanting to commit as the third man there. Maybe risk that ball coming back to bite them on the opposite end.
Velocity has plays to choose from, goes for a bump instead, and now Motion as that last man is a little bit awkward, wants to play off that backcourt. Devsy was well prepared. And that was going to be Gahiris again collecting that ball. Glypty with the 50-50. It doesn't escape that central third. And now that pressure remains on Anana's gang. Motion has had that time to pick up boost. He's got space as well. But Nick Beast was positioned well high. You saw Gahiris low as well. We saw this defense able to get some work in. But once they're broken out for play, what can you do? Motion gives Velocity the lead again.
I mean, that perfect. That is textbook demo play by Velocity there. Both of the teammates for Devsy on 0 boost and stuck in that corner. Nobody was getting to the front after he was removed from the pitch. Clinical from Velocity there. Devsy tasked with a save after this opening kickoff. This one going to be guided towards the middle. Good redirect attempt there. It won't find itself on the mark. But it will be trying regardless. Gonna keep Velocity honest to their orange half, to their goalposts. That's not the clear that they would have wanted, but it is a good follow-up attempt there. Here's Motion, dangerous as Devsy barely gonna chip that forward. Velocity doesn't have the boost to make contact there. Nick B's gonna hurdle himself at this ball. And Gahiris just trying to do what they can, but with no boost. That one will fall short, and entering into the blue half again comes Velocity and his teammates. Gahiris over the midfield line, flip reset, individual solo play, and the dunk to punish the save.
And where has that come from? His own corner, he got the flip reset, it looked like it wouldn't be enough. Glypty stretched himself out to make that save. The job surely done. He won't get credited with the assist by Psyonix, but I might plant that title on him. We're back to equal in the final 2 minutes. And well, Anana's gang have breathed some life into this play when it looked like all the pressure was against them.
Gahiris, backflip shot attempt, turned aside by Motion. Both these teams understand the stakes that we're entering, a very crucial game that could sway where the power lies in this best of 5. Devsy, really good pass. Nick B's full take a boost, goes to a double tap up himself, but he misses the mark. A golden opportunity, and he can't even tally a shot on.
Well, we know more than ever that is very uncharacteristic from Nick B. Spare, missing essentially what was a free play shot, and now they're going to have to face that counter-attack, and I feel like that's going to be one of those plays that if they lose this game, if they lose this series, that's going to be one that replays in their head. Glypty sends it to Velocity, that counter-attack looking to form, but that one does not quite connect. It's a bit too heavy. He'll find Anana's gang instead. That's an excellent first touch from Gahiris, and the bump look to follow as well, but low boost. They're just going to recycle this one back to defense, take their time, get their boost. You see all three with almost a full tank now, but they have conceded possession as a result of their dilly-dallying. Glypty looks to play those mind games. There are some ones plays he's playing against, but still able to break his way through 2 players. Velocity was cheating close as well, and you just see all 3 players smelling that blood in the water as soon as that first 50-50 clashes. And it feels like velocityrll, you can chase them as much as you like, but they seem to always make that first step forward.
Yeah, I don't really appreciate the line of thinking there, but we don't have time to sit and talk about it. 20 seconds on the clock and a comeback necessary for Anana's gang. Here's Motion off the sidewall, looking for some help in the infield. Nick Beast from his own corner tries to play underneath one, although I'm not necessarily sure that was the touch that they wanted. The clock ticking down from 10 seconds. They need something now. They couldn't get in game 1. Can they get it here? Oh, how'd that not touch down? It will now, and not necessarily the same last-second action that we had in the previous 5-minute frame, but the same result regardless. Although I will say a different means of getting there, not necessarily the same storyline that was told in this game number 2.
Yeah, and Ananas Gang, they were constantly chasing, but I feel like that was the problem. They were always the team, either equal or on the back foot. There was no real point where they had, the driving seat. They had that lead. They forced velocityrll to try and bring the game back for themselves. They were always ready there to strike first. And Ananas Gang, I feel like it's just going to feel exhausting for them. There's not been a moment so far of this series where they have been ahead. And if you reorder some of those goals, I feel like they've been a lot better of a mental space right now, where instead it feels like they try and they try and they try. And velocityrll always just about able to squeak it through. But, 2 first games here in this best of 5, they were all within 1 goal. I would say that was a better performance from Ananas Gang as well in the second. It's reverse sweepable. It certainly is here in the upper final. And, well, it also looks like a matchup which we might not see the last of if these kind of performances continue.
Yeah, and there is a way out. And it's not like you have to go and paint some impossible route to get there. We've seen it. We've seen the gameplay. But can you be the better team of these 6 players on the pitch for 15 minutes consecutively is what is drawing question marks into my mind, especially with some of the decision-making we saw previously in that game too. I mean, that game was all tied up until the point where Gahiris opted to take that possession touch into their own corner when he was at 0 boost in the midfield, and they just never broke out since then. And this does not spell good tidings to start here, having to be tasked with a couple of saves off the get-go and still struggling to find any sort of space in their own half. They will finally do so. Can Nickbeast turn to some transition play? Good defense there on the back wall, and we will regroup in the midfield.
The side off, some messy defense coming from Ananas Gang, but on the front foot, they are looking a fair bit stronger. There is a bit of a weakness in their game here that we're seeing so far in this series, but that's not to say that part of that doesn't come from how unpredictable velocityrll can play. Sometimes they go for these taps off the sidewall, they go for these infield passes, they go for these solo plays. They've got 3 players that can go out with an array of options no matter what the position feels like. It very rarely feels like they're forced into one play. Here's an infield pass, bottom right found, and it's the captain himself who will find the back of the net.
Yeah, really great connections there. The heads up to know exactly where your teammate is, and definitely just in a really rough position there. No boost with his nose facing directly where the ball is coming from. Leaves you with 0 lateral movement to cover the different options of where that ball could be headed towards your net from, and just not able to make contact there. And this one dangerous with the bump. And the redirect off the defenseman makes it 2 for Velocity.
And that's evil from Glyfty. Put him on the naughty list for that bump. They're already dead. You've taken the first 2 games. You've looked so strong in the third. Was that really necessary? Blood on the pitch here, and Ananas Gang have to strike back.
It's gonna have to be soon as well. I mean, this is looking eerily similar to the first game that we saw on stage between these 2 teams, and it's making out to be even more brutal than that first one was. Defsy has an opportunity here. He just has no boost and no teammates to help. Gahiris is finally there, but not before Velocity can make contact with that ball and send it into their own corner. Here's Gahiris again, trying to make something happen, but the defense on the back wall standing too tall. Motion, playing it past that second man, has an opportunity to go back the other way. That demo will find him for his efforts. But what's more important than anything is that there hasn't even been a relative scoring opportunity for Ananas Gang that they found yet.
They had a really weak beginning to game 1, but now they're looking to try and find some life in this third game. I was about to say that they looked very irrespective of it, and well, actually might be following the exact script. Or in that second half, they're finding a bunch of pressure, but unfortunately on defense, it's just not quite there to match Velocity. I spoke about his 1v1 prowess. This catch and flick, I feel like, will show you exactly that. Barreling its way into the top left corner. And that job for Ananas Gang gets a lot more difficult. The deficit to match the amount of A's in that first word.
Yeah, very, very clever call there. I appreciate that one. This one in the corner here for Velocity. Motion chipping out for Glyfty, trying to get something. He's going to end up chartling that one, trying to get any sort of power behind that 50-50 that they were able to, but won't culminate, excuse me, in a fourth goal here. Glyfty chipping it forward over the top of Velocity, actually, obviously not on the same page there. And the third man in motion ends up early here. Does buy enough time for his teammates to find their way back towards the net. Not the touch that Glyfty wanted. That will enable Defsy to sink in. And now playing it towards the middle. Izga here as Velocity chip around one. Trying to play it onto the sidewall. Here's Glyfty looking for the center. Just can't get it past Nickbees. Actually, he can because Nickbees won't make contact. And all of a sudden, things get way spookier here for them in their own end. But they don't want to be here in the first place. They need 3 Pegasus.
Halloween was a month ago, and I feel like I'm still seeing some ghosts on the pitch at times with these balls flying into the defense, and you just feel like one player has got to get there. But velocityrll, they've been able to pile on that pressure, and I feel like that discomfort that they've been able to consistently cause is what's causing quite a lot of these mistakes, especially in the later stages of this series, where I feel like we're not really seeing that in the earlier games. That first game especially, it was one-sided, but it wasn't coming from these one-off mechanical errors from Ananas Gang. It was just simply velocityrll were outplaying them. And I feel like that, you know, a break and some time in the lower bracket, which I feel like is all but guaranteed now, could see them potentially come back and put up a bigger fight. But for now, I think there has been a clear favourite, and the series score is going to show exactly that.
Very much so, as this one will end in a clean sweep over to the side of velocityrll. Couple very close games between these two, but when you boil it down, the amount of mistakes, the amount of unforced mechanical errors, the speed, the pace of play, all in favor of Velocity and their 2 teammates. Very deserved win that will book their ticket further along in this bracket. And there's not much else you can say outside of that. I mean, start to finish, very obviously the better team. You and I know what Ananas Gang is, the potential that roster has. I just don't think we fully saw it there in this series.
No, and that's why I think, well, of course, we're guaranteed to see them again here on stream with the lower finals, and we know they have that ceiling. We know they haven't reached it, so there's full potential that they can pick themselves back up and get themselves back into the grand finals against velocityrll, which are looking to be the favourites to win that, especially with that game advantage they're going to have in that weighted best of 7. But still a long day ahead. Of course, velocityrll are also going to have a break from play, which there are certain players they would say that that's a bit of a nerf to them instead of actually an advantage. Obviously, that's made up with the game that they are receiving as a result of this result they put ahead of us. But look, you saw that team on paper. As soon as you see them sign up, you know they are going to be a dangerous roster, and I feel like they've proven exactly that here in the upper finals. But I tell you what, it is our most competitive redirect monthly, and to be able to step up with this crowd is extremely impressive. We've got an absolutely insane top 3 waiting for us, and I'm very interested to see who will watch in that lower bracket, because that hasn't quite yet been decided.
Nope, but it's coming up real quick. The bracket's waiting on us, so it will be a break. It won't be a long one. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
can feel your energy, it's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I. Are you only passing through, or are you gonna love me? Are you only passing through, or are you gonna love me?
Making touch, peering into the soft blue light. This unfamiliar glare, it blocks me out, I'm blinded. Inspired my efforts to keep you satisfied. I seem to be losing you, it's not worth the fight. So I speak up, I scream into the void. I reach for a hand to guide me through the shifting land below. I'm running up, the walls are closing in. I feel the cold embrace of dust. We rise and dust we come. Hear my voice speak through the walls of stone. When I saw you leave, I felt you go. As thoughts borderline, blinding from a distance. No more resistance. So I speak up, I scream into the void. I reach for a hand to guide me through the shifting land below. I'm running up, the walls are closing in. I feel the cold embrace of dust. We rise and dust we part.
You lift me off of the ground. I close my eyes and I wait for the come down. I used to live in the now. Now I'm wiser to think that we are bulletproof. Teens with thicker skin, now we just bruise. We were hopeless and we're hopeless now. But I remember we threw our fists in the air, singing. I remember when we were kids, never scared, yeah. And the sky went dark, we used our hearts to guide us. You showed me you care. And I remember, yeah, I remember. see we were never bulletproof. Teens with dreams of love without a clue. We were hopeless and we're hopeless now, but I remember we threw our fists in the air singing. I remember when we were kids, never scared, yeah. And the sky went dark, we used our hearts to guide us. You showed me you care, and I remember, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Go on, myself. I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. I'm gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Redirect Monthly number 18 here on Start GG on an affiliate channel. So much progression in just this 1 year, and that's why we've got the prediction up and running for this lower finals to try and fight for that spot to play against velocityrll. Ananas gang had their opportunity. Unfortunately, they did drop in what was a relatively one-sided sweep, despite what the individual scorelines would tell you. But now they face a team of absolute grinders on the side of ranked enjoyers. All the players with LFT in their name. You might be inspired to sign them after this performance. They've gotten so far in what has been such a competitive Redirect Monthly. And well, I don't know about you, Quanzek, but I'm excited to watch this one go underway.
I am as well. You know, the caliber of teams that have made it up to this point, this is the cream of the crop. We are here, right? We have made it. Nothing but the best Rocket League on display from here on out. What I am particularly keen into this game, there were a lot of mechanical missteps I saw from Ananas game in our previous series. That, coupled with their inability to leave their zone so many times, cycling that ball in their own corner, getting diving saves, and not having much follow-up, really playing boom ball and far too often giving up possession to the other team. They're able to shape that up. I know the caliber of team that they can be. You know the caliber of team that they can be. Everybody on stream wants to see it. I, will be unbiased in the series, but in the Twitch channel point predictions, that is where I have my money on.
Oh, and there's a big range of names in front of us. I think one of them might get a turn talking to after this series, but Ananas gang do take this initial attack here. Straight off here in the lower bracket. They did perform really well in the uppers, and you may have seen actually on screen on our break screen, NC was streaming for the Dirty Dogs, where victory was gained here by ranked enjoyers. Red Mob, maybe a player you recognize if you've been looking at the 1v1 EU Salt Mine qualifiers. He has been a big grinder in that playlist all throughout the year. He's been very up and coming in that playlist, but here in 3v3 he's no slouch either, and to get a minimum of bronze place in these Redirect Monthlies, especially the likes of this one, just goes to show his prowess in a multitude of these playlists and his overall grind and love for Rocket League, LFT as well. I mean, I feel like that just says it all. And then on the side of Ananas gang, we said it when we were casting the upper finals. The Benelux boys, Depsy and Nick Beast team together, they have just tried to make a combination play here, but that one will not unfold. It's still goalless at the opening stage.
Excuse me, you're gonna have to keep on. Give me a second.
We got another audience member, the dog. He wants to see a goal. He wants to see a goal. That's do we all. But calm down. It's coming. Depsy's forward. Big save coming on here. Red Mob looking to bring it across. That counter shot just going wide of the post. Nick Beast got that perfect touch to prevent exactly that. Nox Vast looks to find Red Mob. That ball will fly high to Gaharis, who was waiting to clear that one out. And now it's Nox Vast again, looking for that side wall ball off the corner. Red Mob awaits there to try and finish the job. It doesn't break its way through. 2 minutes now is passed, and we see Depsy and Gaharis still struggling to break through defenses. It's been end to end. It's been fast both ways. But when you finally find a way to isolate one player, you're almost guaranteed to get that goal across. Red Mob, known for his 1v1s, give him a second player, essentially unbeatable.
This might be the longest I think I've ever gone without introing into a game here, but I am here. I apologize for the interruption. My puppy in the background just wanted to get involved with the action that was just starting to pick up on stream. He gets excited just as much as I do. And that opening goal, very good to have in the pocket for ranked enjoyers. I mean, you were talking to their showmanship throughout the course of this year and what they've been able to accomplish, especially here in these Redirect Monthlies. That is only exponentially multiplied due to the caliber of talent that we have today as a try. They will be tried defensively with that last second save. Gaharis awkward, has to get a second save on facing his own net, and this one's still dangerous. Will finally make its way out into the corner. Here's Nick Beast looking to flip one forward, instead opting to take it low. It gets around 2, and actually it gives a little bit of caution towards the net for Ranked Enjoyers, but they handle that and will hold on to their 1-goal lead.
And ball back up, Knox Vass look to try and make it 2. Dempsey was waiting on that back wall, but that 50-50 wasn't powerful enough to bring the ball forward. It's Red Mob. Flip reset collected, but Harris will send this one wide. Is unable to keep possession. Now we're really starting to see that pressure build up here from Ranked Enjoyers. And Anna's gang looking to send it back. Dempsey, no boost, no problem. And powerful shots. Forces Red Mob to make that last-ditch save. And well, they've maintained their lead, but it's on shaky ground at the moment as both teams have had their opportunities.
Noxus trying to get a piece of this one, jammed forward and onto the back it goes. Off that orange back wall, Dempsey dropping it down for Gahiris, but intercepted before it can make its way towards the net. Nick Beast, really awkward takeoff, can't make contact with the ball, which leaves Dempsey awkwardly double jumping instead of flipping. And now, flying off the side wall, double tap, Noxvis can't necessarily find pay dirt. Gahiris gets a demo. Trying to collect the ball and the boost, has to opt for just a chip pass into the infield. Rattling around in this orange half. This one gonna be one to the sidewall. Onto the corner. And Dempsey over the top of one. This could spell danger on the back. Ew! Last second save by Red Mob.
Whoa, that was a breaking apart there from the Ranked Enjoyers defense. Luckily, they had a second player waiting, and on the counter-attack, still looking just as dangerous as ever, but that shows you that this leading team can bleed. They can be taken on. They can be defeated. 4 seconds left. Ananas gang were able to bring in some late drama in the upper bracket. Can it repeat here in lowers? No, ball hits the floor. And Ranked Enjoyers look to continue that lower bracket run as they get their first hard-fought victory.
They played well, and I think we're in for a very long series here. Just looking at how this game ended, right? 1-0 deficit. It was a good goal, but there were chances on both sides. And the stats at the end of the game, nearly identical. I mean, you're looking at it, one less shot for the side of Ranked Enjoyers, one more save for the side of Ranked Enjoyers, and I'm sure the possession in that game almost split straight down the middle. If they had siblings and they played the game, I don't know if anybody else has ever did this. I'm sure there's some shared experiences out there where you have one thing, one sibling breaks it, the other sibling gets to pick which piece they want. This would have been right down the middle. Everybody's happy with what the result is. Ananas gang, I think there's positive takeaways here, and I said this again in game 1 of the previous series, of the positive takeaways were, hey, your defense looked good. All facets of the pitch this time around look good. And you just have to take it to them now. That being said, Ranked Enjoyers did well to secure that win, so what adaptations are made heading into game number 2 here on Forbidden Temple?
A series worth £30, grand finals prestige also there as well. One team fighting to continue their lower bracket run, the second looking to get that revenge, and things open up early here for Ananas gang. It's not the greatest opening goal we've ever seen, but look, in high-ranked competition, you take what you can get. This is a high-intensity competitive series. This isn't just a show match. Take your moments and move on.
Those dirty trash goals are worth the same than the fantastic individual mechanical plays. It may not get you on SportsCenter top 10, but they're going to collect a second one here. A grimy, dirty goal. This team, Ananas gang, immediately getting in the mud, making their way up out of it, getting dirty, getting grimy, getting physical down there in front will cash them that second goal.
It's grimy and dirty for Ananas gang, but a cold shower here for Ranked Enjoyers. They've been shown the full potential of their opponents now. They've struck quick, they've struck early, and now looks like they have quite a fair bit of a head start in this second game, and it will only increase as the third goal flies in. It's the third for Harris. It is the third goal contribution for Nick Beast. He's got himself that playmaker title, and well, he does it week in, week out, season after season, tournament after tournament. And we said that he was a bit of a sleeping giant in that upper bracket. Seemingly he has awoken, and what is this defense? Look, we were speaking before the broadcast here that you were a high-ranked player. You were a coach as well. What do you say to Ranked Enjoys at this point?
I mean, look, a very brutal start. There's no other way to put it, right? And if I'm the coach in their corner right now, all you say is you just have to look forward. And this is going to sound like a broken record because it's what everybody's going to be saying at this point. But it is a very unfortunate series of events that you've let those goals in early. You've only done it in 50 seconds, which leaves you plenty of time to come back and do your own bidding on the opposite side of the pitch. Not the greatest start. Plenty of time to get it back. You start now.
It's a bit of that double-edged sword, isn't it? Where, yes, you can concede early stages of the game and it can feel cheap. It can feel like you're giving that other team that head start. But at the same time, it's better than if they scored it late, because then you have so much time to get yourself back into the game. 3 minutes and a half to score 4 goals is certainly doable, but at the moment they really haven't shown too many signs of improvement. Instead, it feels like that barrage is continuing. It feels like we're more likely to get a widening scoreline than one that will close up.
I do agree with that mindset. I mean, the floodgates seem to have opened, and usually at this point you'd see this game return to neutral, but continuing to be on their back foot are Ranked Enjoyers, just being suffocated in their own half. They don't have a shot to their name yet. Maybe this is it for Red Mob. Does get credit, and there's the goal. One step at a time. That's exactly the way it should be. Really good setup here by Red Mob. Just gets in the way. Nick Beast really awkward on 0 boost. Trying to protect that shot. Wasn't expecting the pass. It cuts the deficit to 3. One goal at a time. Step by step.
Yeah. Absolutely, one play at a time as well. Just focus on making that next touch the perfect one. That one will progress you forward, because also we spoke about it a bit when we were doing Benelux here, and we, had some familiar players on the pitch, but there's a big difference between game management and series management. I feel like here you can actually have a bit of a balance of both worlds, where yes, you can get some goals across and maybe you can get yourself back in this individual game, but more importantly, you want to set yourself up well with enough momentum to head into that third game as well, regardless of this result. And I think seeing that first goal and seeing this step up in play from Ranked Enjoyers overall puts him in actually a fairly good position for the rest of the series, like I said, regardless of this outcome.
100%. And it's the poise that you need to have as a team, right? Whether you're playing from a lead or at a deficit, as we find ourselves in this game, a very large discrepancy between these two rosters. What you do from these positions of power or of weakness is what will define you. And having poise, having to control your touches, being disciplined in the way that you play, this is not it from Ranked Enjoyers. A wayward touch enables that clean, crisp setup off the back wall, and Ananas Gang erases the goal that would attempt to bring Ranked Enjoyers life, give them a way to claw back in it. And with 90 seconds remaining on the clock, this is only going to continue to get more difficult.
They ripped away as well that last goal advantage that I feel like is, something that casters especially like to say. You like to have the most recent memory of a goal instead of conceding one yourself. And also, sorry, psycho attempt there from Gaharis. He was getting very confident. He's feeling himself at the late stage of this game, but Noxman's getting a little bit tricky on the ground as well to try and find that second goal. Unfortunately, it doesn't break its way through, and still that momentum in terms of goals held on the side of Ananas Gang and game results will fall that way too. We'll see this best of 5 be reduced to a best of 3 position, and that's where Wow, Ranked Enjoyers have showed themselves to play best after finding themselves in that lower bracket and breaking their way into this position. So we'll see further life coming from this team. It's been night and day between game 1 and game 2. I feel like there's full opportunity. We'll see something completely different, but that is not going to up the confidence here of Ranked Enjoyers.
I mean, they look like chickens with their head cut off in the back wall. There is no contestation whatsoever over that possession of that ball heading through the neutral zone of the field. And what that culminates in on the back end is 2 players in their net with 0 boost, having to fling themselves in whatever way possible at that ball to make some semblance of contact, and not doing so, Destiny can really just float that one in for free. And, you know, it's just one of many wounds that has been shown, chinks in the armor that have been revealed for this Ranked Enjoyers roster. And whether you want to give more credit to Ananas gang for proving them, or, you know, give a little bit of a slap on the wrist to Ranked Enjoyers, the end result is a devastating game 2 that will go in the favor of Ananas gang, and in my mind, create a massive momentum swing headed into the rest of the series.
But the thing is, with these lower bracket matchups where everything is on the line and we are so late stage of the tournament as well, you've got to think of this as being 2 heavyweights entering the ring. And if you get that one sucker punch in the early seconds of the round, they're days for the rest of it. I think that's what we saw there in that match. Ananas gang were able to land those early haymakers, those flurries of shots, and Ranked Enjoyers were just kind of a bit dazed for the rest of the round, and they were unable to get themselves. But now, both teams back into their corners, able to take a breath for this next 30 seconds they have for themselves. They'll be able to throw themselves back into the next game with a clearer mindset, some talking to by the coach, by the captain, between each other. And I think they'll put up much of a fight. I feel like that was a game that was decided in the first 30 seconds, and I feel like the rest was fodder for a result that was guaranteed at that point.
Yep, especially at this caliber of Rocket League that we're seeing put on display here. I mean, you get up to a 4-0 deficit in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The defensive stalwart capabilities of anyone, any individual player on that field at that given time, gonna be immaculate. You put 3 of them together, it'll be very difficult to get those goals back. So what adjustments have been made in the last minute, adaptations, so that Ranked Enjoyers can come out here with a fresh mindset, get themselves off on the right foot here.
It starts off with Noxmas at that front post. Red Mob looking to follow up as the second, as plays chasing him for the demo, 3 in front, and was only able to beat the first. Now that offense continues again as they look to not concede early. By this point, I think they already had 2 or 3 against them in that last game, so instantly we are seeing an improvement from the Ranked Enjoyers roster. That's a big ball forward, but second man sitting a bit deep, waiting for that heavy touch. They're happy to do so. Once they got that moment to strike, you see all 3 players bringing themselves very high, and I feel like it is that surprise factor which definitely can surprise Ananas gang if Ranked Enjoyers are able to get themselves that forward press. It's back up to Red Mob again. We see a offensive demo come out. One final shot. Red Mob on that back wall. And we can see it there. That touch is made. That goal is made. It is just that simple. And Ananas gang get away with that one.
Yeah, the vision, I saw it manifesting itself in real time, but that will not find the twine, and instead, still looking for the opener in this game number 3 will be Ranked Enjoyers. Gahiris trying to be in charge of toning the line for his team. Defsy towards the net, north of crossbar. We'll make sure it's turned aside, is Noxvis. Demoed for his efforts is going to be Astro on the back wall, and this one dangerous in front, a pinch. Sends it back out, but Gahiris will gather, and now looking to get something going off the back wall, and a boost steal in the corner means that Ranked Enjoyers are going to be pretty starved here on the back wall. Gahiris trying to flip reset towards the low corner. Can't get it there. Nick Beast will collect another demo, going to open up a little bit of room for Ranked Enjoyers, but Nick Beast with that full boost, trying to make use of it. Defsy will collect after that demo. but will be forced to play defense now on the back end. Really good 50 controlled into his own corner. Going to allow Nick Beast to take over. A little bit of caution to the wind there as that ball floated across the crease, but they will do well for the time being.
Noxus on his own backhaul, quite a bit of boost left in the tank. He's collected a flip reset as well. Wants to sneak it under depth. He does well to beat 2, but Gaheris waiting for a full tank of his own on his backhaul. That's a great 50-50 from the low boost Red Mob by Strow. Wants to deny it from breaking the half. It does temporarily, but Noxus is there to send it back. And now it's all about these neutral third 50-50s. Trying to break away, trying to be the first one to initiate themselves into an offense. And Ananas gang feel like they found exactly that, especially if that 50-50 can land. SC has to be the quick second, but Red Mob, if you want to challenge a 50-50, maybe don't go against a 1v1 main.
Oh, really good infield pass for the outlet breakout. Has to find the save, retreating off his nose, but will only delay the inevitable. Getting the opener, 3 minutes and 15 seconds in this game number 3 will be Gaheris.
And that is just a complete underestimation of the danger that Ranked Enjoyers were in. That goal line, it was perfect. They had a player high and a player low. And I thought we'd be able to throw that one out, but a save coming from Devsy. Neutral demos coming out between Nick Beast and Red Mob. They re-enter the screen. And now it's Astral. Looking to find the ball back in field. And yet that chance is surely wasted now. They've started from square one. Nick Beast on the defense. And now Ranked Enjoyers. That goal they conceded, now having the potential to be the decider to give away match point. But Astral coming off the ceiling, they're getting creative with it. And again, these touches just not quite falling where they need it to.
Yeah, the bounce is very crucial here, and Ananas gang really have switched up how they're handling this game. It's reserved in the midfield, which is enabling them to continue this pressure. Any single time a clear is finding its way out, there's going to be somebody on that midfield wall, almost exactly where that boost is, a la right here, with Gaheris sinking in, full tank of boost, has any means at his disposal to challenge the full armory. And here's the infield pass, looking for Devsy in the opposite corner. Can they find an insurance goal? Can they limit Ranked Enjoyers to not even break out their own half? No, it's a little bit dangerous on the opposite end now. Gaheris from his own corner. But it's going to be up to Ranked Enjoyers. 10 seconds on the clock. Can they find the equalizer goal? Astro off the corner, and this is going to be dangerous from Desi. Really well placed shot, far post.
And that will be job well done here in game 3. For Ananas gang, they were able to continue a little bit of that momentum they were able to pick up in that second game, but overall it feels like the game that's kind of just ran away here from Ranked Enjoyers. That first goal they conceded really changing the tide for the rest of that game, and it came from, again, just a huge mistake on defense where all of a sudden it just felt like the goalkeepers completely opened up, went to their own respective corners, and all they had to do, Gaheris, was put the ball in the back of the net. That's a fantastic redirect coming from Defsy, looking to end this one in style. But the series is not over yet. Ananas gang in that favourable spot, securing themselves match point and the potential for the rematch in the grand finals against velocityrll. The Ranked Enjoyers in the down but not out state, they have been strong, but some holes have just been a little bit too wide.
Yeah, I mean, this is... If you want to talk about, like, textbook offensive control, I'm not talking about rotations, I'm not talking about anything else besides control and possession. You look at this game right here. The landing wheels up in order to know where you're going immediately to either boost steal, to bump. And the deeper set rotations, which I think really worked well for Ananas gang in this game number 3. Their second man wasn't in the play. It wasn't in the crease. He wasn't looking for an infield pass. It was circling behind. at that midfield line, making sure to grab that boost when it respawned, and what that resulted in was relentless pressure that ranked enjoyers had to deal with. They couldn't break out of their own half. They never had any boost to do anything with, let alone the ball to find a clear. And Ananas Gang, it seems like they found the recipe. What we did see there was ranked enjoyers, a couple of them leaving the lobby, going and changing a preset. A mental placebo is maybe what they need to find a different sort of standing heading into this game number 4.
Sugar pills taken here by the ranked enjoyers. We'll see if that can have an impact here on the pitch.
Oh
Nick Beast.
my.
Oh, getting creative up close. That reminds me of the Sultan of Ample back in the day. Now they're just doing it in these high-level lobbies. Unfortunately, that one doesn't break away. Stroud looking for Red Mob, and already I'm seeing slightly more offensive play coming from ranked enjoyers. I feel like too many times in that last game they were basically trying to 1v3 the offense, and you just cannot do that, especially with the quality you're facing against as well. It felt like they wanted to play this counter-attack style, but what needs to be perfect about those plays is the transition, being able to change that mindset or bringing your players forward and trying to catch a team off guard. And it felt like they had all the defensive aspects of their counter-attacking playstyle, and then no attack to counter with.
Yep, that's yeah. I couldn't have said it much better myself. And I mean, as we see in this game number 4, ranked enjoyers have zero confidence. They need to get their swagger back some way, somehow. When they are on defense, they're all sinking into their own net. Offense is one shot and they all immediately exit the zone. And Ananas Gang, I mean, they're confident. They're feeling themselves. You saw that with Nick Beast in the first opening 5 seconds of the game. He hit us with a little suave dribble on his way to the net just because. There was no need to do that, but this roster is confident, and what ranked enjoyers need to do is bring them down at the knees, make them grovel and understand that they can't express their will onto this roster, and it starts with showing dominance offensively. Maybe this can be it here from Red Mob. It's back out to Noxvis, trying to get into the middle, but there's just nothing going there.
And ball back to Depsy. Here at that sidewall, doesn't have much left in the tank. Wanted that dunk, it doesn't quite connect. So now it's Nick Beast again, having to commit all this boost, and this defense has been run dry. Gaheris wants to be that one-man army in the corner, and to be fair to him, very successful on his merry way. Stroud already having enough of him, throwing him off the pitch. Gets a second player as well by Noxvis, but Red Mob will delay enough time in the air for the respawning players to get themselves back involved in the play. Red Mob doesn't find that touch. This offense does whittle its way down, and now Ananas Gang looking to create something for themselves. There wasn't much fire despite the amount of time we spent in that half, and I think a lot of that came from the weakening blows of those defensive demos.
This could spell danger here. Dempsey challenging as the third man, and that means the rotation can't come through. A really risky challenge there. Better dunk by Red Mob, and Nick Beast just can't read that ball coming off the back wall with zero boost. That's a gimme there, and that's one that is crucial for the state that ranked enjoyers was in their own half. And this series gives a little bit of momentum back, gives themselves some confidence, and this is the point where you have to run away with that. Enabling Ananas game to sink back in here, just put yourself in the position that you were previously. It's a good pop up in front of the net. Better save by Devsy, but the boost steal from Nox is going to enable this offensive to continue. Off 2 posts goes that save from Kahiris, and Devsy finally finds the clearance that is necessary.
Ananas Gang really have been pinned to their half. It's just been some new offensive life on the back of ranked enjoyers, and Red Mob, will he find a teammate? Goes for the shot instead, off the crossbar. The third one flies in. All 3 players involved, but again, not quite able to break their way through. 3v3 was too tough, make it a 3v2, and still the defense is able to hold on to prevent the second. The counter-attack comes on. They're looking for that overtime. They won it 1 and done in 4, but Stroud looking to try and secure this Game 4 win, wanting to find himself on that coveted champions field here. They still hold that value here in these tournaments. Red Mob, flip reset, looking to sneak under and was able to beat the first, but Gaheris did well to clear that one out back into the corner yet again, but out of their half has still been too much to ask for. Ranked Enjoyers have held this press for quite some time. They've squeezed down this team. They've applied the stress. But will they go past that breaking point? Gaheris yet again, who I think has definitely been the calmest player in defense, for a reliable one that has prevented it from being a wider scoreline. Now he'll look to tighten it, but that ball back into the corner, that yellow text on the screen decreases the chances of this overtime. But hold on a minute, that chance still not zero as the ball finds the air.
Nick B's gonna try to keep it alive on 0 boost, but the boost tally's waiting for Ananas gang. Nick B's has to collect and flick it up with only a penny in the tank. Gaheris now trying to find a challenge. Nick B's trying for the corner, can't get the pace necessary to get it there. And Ranked Enjoyers will force an equal series. All it took, Sir Pegasus, was that one singular misstep by Defsy on that challenge. Maybe you want to rope in Nick Beast so that he couldn't read it off the back wall. Yeah. That was the difference maker. A single mental and mechanical error booked the ticket to us being tied to a piece.
But it was really tough there for Nick Beast as well. As that last man, he was low on boost. He couldn't wait for that bounce of the back wall, otherwise it was going to be too high and just it wouldn't be possible with the resources he had to get that save. So he had to commit himself for that tough read off the back wall. It didn't quite land, and sometimes that is the difference. But again, Ranked Enjoys put them in that tough position. Finally, they were able to apply that press, which was missing in that Game 2 and that Game 3. Finally being able to find it and bring yourself into Game 5. Put yourself in such a strong position, because as the pressure rises and you find yourself on the map of Rocket League Champions Field, you need to have that confidence swinging your way. You don't want the mistakes to be on your side, and currently, Ranked Enjoyers, I think, will be the team with the momentum heading into it. That is left to be decided on the pitch, however, as we enter Game 5.
Defsy gathers that ball off the kickoff win for Ananas gang. Not much more going there, though, as the ball immediately ends up back in their own half. And this one played in the middle by Red Mob. Doesn't necessarily have help from his team. They weren't expecting that to be won so easily. Worked on now, still by Red Mob, finally exiting this half and dangerously in front with the 0 boost defender in Defsy, still looking for anything they can get on the back line, forced to make a save with a penny in the tank. Nobody's up on the side of Ananas gang. They're just soaking the pressure right now like a towel right out of the shower. Red Mob, he had been a menace so far in the first 50 seconds of this game, and Ananas gang finally will find the exit out of their own blue half, and it culminates in a goal. What?
What a pinch there from Gaheris. And it's just too much for the Ranked Enjoyers defenders to read. You never expect a ball like that to fly towards your half, and you can have as much boost as you want. But the expectations and the ability to read that play just simply were not there. So many games of Rocket League these guys would have played, thousands of hours, potentially tens of thousands, but I won't rope them to that. And you'll find yourselves in unfamiliar positions. Unfortunately, Consec, this is one we've seen all too often. 3 players at the front post, the goal is inevitable.
Just a wayward touch there. I mean, Noxivus trying to put his car in any position to interrupt that ball, and ends up right back out towards a member of Ananas gang. And with both of his teammates rotating out, trying to find any sort of boost, it ends up being an open net. What a good pass here from Gaheris. Defsy will end up being the one to re-garner that near that midfield line, and all the pace of that. Really good save there met by Astro. Red Mob We'll watch Gahiris take this over on the sidewall, shove it along off the crossbar, back in by Dempsey, and this is a runaway train with a third unanswered.
And where did this come from? Where was this in Game 4? All of a sudden, Ananas Gang looking a lot like that Game 2 we saw before, where they just brought on the heat nice and early into the game and brought the game against Ranked Enjoys, and now they're struggling. Of course, I feel like they were gifted from a few early mistakes as well, but once this position is obtained, it's so tough to throw away, and Gahiris, filled to the brim with confidence, makes it 4 with that backboard read, and now Ranked Enjoyers have their work set out for them.
I mean, this is very eerie to the game number 2 that we saw earlier. I mean, the 4-0 deficit was garnered in just a minute in that one, but what I really want to harp on more than anything is that Ranked Enjoyers couldn't find a way back. The mentality was crushed, the gameplay was crushed, any sort of chemistry looked underwhelming at best, and that's a good attempt there from Noxvis to get in the way, and oh, really dangerous by Gahiris, but the confidence in that play shows. Red Mob has to go back and collect for that save. Ranked Enjoyers found themselves in a deficit very early in that game and couldn't find their way back. They have less than that time now, by at least a minute and a half. And they need to do what they couldn't before. I don't know what needs to change here. And maybe that's it. It starts with the physicality with that double demo coming on in that corner.
Well, as those words were leaving your lips, Quan, a very, very important stat was changing at the top of our screen, and that is the time. So much of it has gone now, and we're yet to even see a first goal here from Ranked Enjoyers. We're past that halfway point. We're in the final 2 minutes. They've had 3 shots, but tell you what, I couldn't tell you what they were. The opportunities just aren't finding themselves, and the deficit matches the shots they have so far, which is always a bit of a wary position. But Ranked Enjoyers able to get this first goal back by Red Mob. 1 minute 43 left on the clock. I'm going to need a few kickoffs or just a complete change in play style to expect this comeback. But I tell you what, here at these Redirect Monthlies, we've seen the odd miracle being pulled off. That's what happens when you have 18 installments. And well, we might see a late Christmas miracle come here for Ranked Enjoyers.
I do like the demo angle that they began to look at. I mean, even here, Red Mob on his way out, immediately hunting down any sort of bump. That one won't be able to manifest in something, but a well-paced shot there by Red Mob. Good infield pass, maybe 1-2 between Astro and Crew. That's a man that I don't feel like we've called his name nearly enough in the totality of this series. Astro just sort of feels like the glue between this team, but even then, in odd spots at odd times, even now, cutting off his own teammate, grabbing that boost, that rotation was weird, I will admit that, but maybe if we see a little bit more out of them, this series gets back on track, but the time is not on their side in order to do so.
No, it's really not, and the general momentum of the play is not either. Ananas Gang still able to throw shots back at Ranked Enjoyers just to keep them on their toes. Know that they're going to be super offensively minded at the moment, and to be fair, they do get that payout with that second goal with 20 seconds remaining. And it's not impossible. It certainly isn't. But all eyes are going to land on this kickoff. And of course, they've got Astral likely looking to take this against Gahiris. They do break forward. Demo follows as well. Corner does come off here, but Nick Beast had 100 in the tank and was positioned perfectly for that read. Red Mob manages to beat 2, but with 10 seconds left, possession thrown away to Ananas Gang. We look to see a rematch in the grand finals. It is going to be Ananas Gang versus velocityrll. They've secured themselves £30 of the prize pool guaranteed, and Ranked Enjoyers go home at least with the prestige of bronze place, and of course the free practice before they likely compete in the off-season tournament, because knowing, what a group of grinders this team is, Noxus, Red Mob, and Astral, I'm sure we'll see them in that tomorrow. They put themselves up to a really good fight today, and like we said, our most competitive Redirect Monthly we've had so far. Third place, certainly no slouch. I think they'll feel unlucky, but honestly, any other month they might find themselves a grand final spot in a lot easier of a fashion.
Yeah, I mean, you come away with your head hung, you're on the podium, but you're not in the payout. You hope to have some sort of payday for your work, but again, the caliber of teams that we have in this tournament this time around, record-breaking level of signups, record-breaking level of talent, what it's leading up to this weekend. You have to be proud of that performance. Taking that to Game 5, maybe a couple different bounces go your way. You change the strategy up ever so slightly. At worst, you get some games to rewatch at the end of your tournament run today. But we have to look forward. There is one series yet to go. The Grand Finals, in which we'll see a rematch between Ananas Gang. They love the spotlight. They've been here in every series. And velocityrll. Team name, a little bit of a Twitch plug. Drop one follow if you would like. But stay here, because we'll be back shortly.
Time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem
Affiliate status acquired. 342 followers stands for Redirect Esports channel. 18 installments of the monthlies. This is the final one of the year, and we've got one last champion to crown. velocityrll versus Ananas Gang. What a year it has been. You now have the opportunity to, of course, vote for who you think will win this weighted best of 7. velocityrll, of course, getting that one game advantage from starting in the upper bracket. Last time we saw these teams meet, Quanzek, fair to say it was a bit one-sided to one of these teams, but Ananas Gang didn't feel like they were at their full potential, and still, the first 2 games were within 1 goal. So do you think that there is a chance still that this can go all the way and that Ananas Gang might be able to steal it at the final stretch?
I think the quality of a team from Ananas Gang that we have seen in this last series compared to the first one is night and day. The team that we saw the first game, the first series around, kept it close, but it was not stellar by any means. They were there just to hang on by a thread and then lose anyways. That series ended up in a sweep. 2 of those games were like 1-goal deficits, but the third one was rather a blowout. What I'm looking at here, I don't know what side of the camp that you are way in. Everybody seems to be split down the middle of what's worth more, coming from the lower bracket and being hot, being warm, versus having that advantage, having time to prep in the upper bracket and having that quote-unquote extra life, in this instance being the 1 game advantage. Which one of those you put more weight into? What I do know more than anything is that Ananas Gang they've evolved. They're in their final evolution of a team that should have put on earlier in the tournament. It took them a while to get there. Will they be able to perform against what seems to be far and away the best team in this tournament in Velocity? We will find out. I don't know which way I'm going. I think I'm gonna stick with the people that just made me a little bit of channel points in Ananas Gang, but my confidence in that, I don't know if it could be much lower.
velocityrll were able to stomp this opposing team in the upper finals, but in the lowers, Ananas Gang fought till a bitter end of a Game 5 thriller to re-qualify themselves into the grand final. They have the deficit, both in games and in series. velocityrll already starts with an opening goal.
I guess the argument that the team coming from lowers is going to be warmer immediately goes out the window. A kickoff goal, you can't get much hotter than that, and that's exactly what we're looking at here. Man, off to a really hot start. Can they get anything on the back end? Ananas Gang, Gahiris along the back wall, motion, trying to chip it out a little bit further. Nickbeast gets in the way, but Glifty just going to send it in. The third man's not there. It's a second one from the midfield line.
On for a hat-trick now, and only 31 seconds gone. Ananas Gang falling apart in defense, to be completely honest, in these opening stages. They already have that game deficit, falling to 2. In the best of 7, you've got to be able to keep your energy. You've got to be able to keep going, and I feel like winning that first game and getting yourselves back to equal series score can be such a power play in these kind of weighted series, and unfortunately it looks like that's not quite coming into place here for Ananas Gang. Plenty of time to try and bring this one back to stop what feels like that unstoppable force of velocityrll is going to be no easy feat, and DefC has to try and start that from his own defense.
Motion, really good flick, forces that negative angle save, and another diving one by DefC. They get away with murder there, but this looks like more of the same from the past series. They cannot break out of their own half. Nickbeast beats that ball by motion. Velocity beats the challenger to that ball as well in Gahiris. And the speed, the pace of play the shot positioning, everything on mark right now for velocityrll, and they don't look to be slowing down anytime soon.
And well, the captain gets them that third goal. They were all freeze on the top of the screen just for a second, and Ananas gang fortunately only have one shot to their name so far, 4 saves to go alongside it, and it looks like they're gonna face some more, but Nick Beast gets that ball forward. It's just a complete opening there. He's able to sneak one through. Well, a 2-goal deficit definitely feels a lot more manageable. It was a rare opportunity there where Velocity were completely caught out, but now they're truly blessed into this series, and maybe they can get those goals underway. The cork is certainly sealed.
Yeah, I think that one just a blessing due to Velocity's own overzealousness. You saw motion with the pre-jump when there was no need to pre-jump at all. Left the third man a little bit slow on that rotation, and that's a gimme for Ananas, but they'll take anything they can get at this point. Look at 2 people for Ananas gang just sitting in the back of the net, both of them 0 boost, and that's going to be the result 99 times out of 100. You're just almost AFK in your own net. That's going to get punished surely.
And it's his world, and we're just living in it. The protagonist of the team, again with that second goal. 2 players now looking for a hat-trick on the velocityrll roster. Ananas gang looking for their second goal. And they will find it. Was there connections made? Were these bumps? What happened here? I mean, that's just a simple beat of the man. And, oh, we did get a slight touch of Velocity. Fearful of that second offensive player as well. The third, nowhere to be seen. And, well, we said it in the first series of the day. I'm sure we mentioned it in the second. Doesn't matter how you score them.
Nope. It just matters that they count. They ask how many. Ananas gang 2 very dirty goals, but it does give them life in this game number 1. Here's Defsy, very deep, looking for a boost steal as well as a demo. They'll get the boost, they won't get the demo, but they will get the challenge here. On to Glyfty, here's towards the back wall, really good recovery, trying to force that one on in motion. Gonna take his time, allowing that ball to creep ever so closely to that goal line. Gahiris double tap to himself, doesn't necessarily have the pace to get there as motion. Really good clearance on 0 booster. Redirect by Glyfty. Challenging towards the net. Demo on the back end. And this one prodded along by motion. Step 2ing it is Defsy towards the net. Goes Glyfty, played into their own corner. And out of that same corner comes Nick Beast. Zipped along by Defsy, and now he's lying in the weights for motion. Gahiris off the sidewall. Nick Beast follow-up, looking for a third. No further than Velocity. Another clearance by motion. Temporary open net to look at. Turned aside by Nick Beast.
Moments of danger now for Velocity. And Ananas gang definitely have stepped up their play. More time has been spent in that final third, but one might just squeak its way through there by Velocity. Not quite Nick Beast. His own backcourt trying to find a teammate, doesn't even break the midfield line. It's going to be motion all alone, finds Velocity, save there by Defsy, still keeps play alive as we enter the final 60 seconds. This has to be a goal from this opportunity here from Ananas gang. You can see the players sneaking their way forward. It's a very high third man as they understand the importance of this play. Velocity, however, hop, skip and a jump. Looking to try and deny it. Some time has been whittled down by Nick Beast's pass. Goes unanswered. Defsy tries to sneak it in the corner. Great save there by Velocity. The ball is popped up and Nick Beast eventually finds hand here for velocityrll. Ananas gang are here to play.
That is such a spectacular heads-up play by Gahiris. Awkward to the ball with 0 boost in the tank, but knows exactly where his teammate's coming from. Puts that pass on his nose. Bang out 2 defenders, but they can't give it up this easily. They still need one more. That one tried the goal line. Nick Beast had to find a crucial save. Gahiris cutting another one. It's in front. What a diving save by motion. Water falling off the backboard. Motion now in charge of the clearance. Will find it. Defsy 10 seconds on the clock. Can they get anything going? Leaving it for Gahiris, looking to find where this ball's going to ricochet to. They're careening off the sidewall. They commit the third man, but it's... Oh, all it does is leave the net wide open, and that will be the nail in the coffin for Ananas Gang. velocityrll, they hang on.
That is a much better performance from Ananas Gang. Late into this game, they leave this game with something to think about, knowing they can take down this team. But they just fell apart too much at the beginning of the game. They almost conceded another bear in that final second as well. But ultimately, Velocity put themselves 2-0 up in series, and this is a best of 7. But already starts to feel like time is running out. We need an Ananas Gang win in this third game if they want to stay competitive. That's going to be my assessment, because I just feel like a reverse sweep against the quality that you see from this higher seeded side is close to unreverse sweepable. They are not going to be inconsistent for 4 games in a row, especially if you allow them to have the momentum of these first 2. But Ananas Gang did bring a great fight. I love what I saw in the later stages of that game. It was just 3 players positioning themselves high. The third one only going as deep as just behind that midfield line so they could still stay involved if a stray ball came out. Loved what I saw there. There were some powerful 50-50s as well. And well, we'll see if they can continue to bring that heat in the third game. Technically, only 1 game played in this grand final. And I would say it was a close one.
Yeah, I do like what we saw from both teams. The quality of opportunities for Ananas Gang, I felt like was unparalleled. In any matchup we've seen between these 2 rosters, what was lacking was the stalwart defense to not allow yourself to fall into that hole early. If they come out with that same mentality, that same pace of play earlier here, it'll spell them well. A little bit dangerous off the start, but Gahiris beats 2 with 1 touch and then finds a further dunk. Can he stay on this ball and pre-jump to get off the corner? The motion will be there to collect.
Ball popped high, Glifty waiting on that right wall, but little boost to really stay involved here. So they have had to concede possession. Motion gets 2 touches to bring the ball out, but Nick Feast was waiting just outside. Motion with the save. Defsy, they could find a midfield yet again, and it's just something that we complimented for in the first series of the day in the upper finals, and they're showing it yet again. How they have such an incredible central presence, even when when Ananas Gang even try to break them down into those wider areas of. They're so good at bringing it back central, and Gahiris yet again looking to break their way through, and this has been a pretty flawless opening from both teams.
Motion. Really, the haphazard there. A little bit of dipsy doodling on that back dribble. There's that man of the hour towards Glifty. Oh, what a jump! Spectacular last second save by Gahiris. Puts himself exactly there with the pace that ball was coming at. That could have spelled danger real soon. Here's Motion. Musty flick clearance. Oh, Gahiris again. Trying to make his presence known on either side of the pitch. Motion gets bumped off. Devsy towards the net, has an open net to shoot at. It set up high for Gahiris. Can't necessarily get there with the boost total that they had in the tank, though. This one chipped on back towards Velocity, towards the net. Stymied by Gahiris. But Velocity into the other corner, happy to play for possession.
No.
That's a maybe an intentional.
Wait, what?
I thought it was a whiff with how that played out. That must have been calculated, right? I mean, where's the challenge?
I was trying to look it up. At first, I thought surely he's going to go for this ball. Maybe he recognised the space. He was definitely going for a demo on the follow-up, whether that was part of the initial plan or not. And well, there was just enough fear caused by that play alone to give the Velocity players that space and to get themselves that first goal. It's either 200 IQ or, you know, a happy little accident, as Bob Ross would say. But regardless, 1-0 velocityrll, and they've got another ball bouncing off that backboard. Gahiris has Abandoned that one for the likes of Defsy. Good communication shown, but still, that is a mistake which had potential to go punished there, but it's motion. One reset. Second is going to be an awkward one to use, and unfortunately, he can't break his way through. Now it's velocity of that left wall, wanting that 1-2 play. Motion was waiting at that far post as well to keep this play in that half, and at the moment, Ananas gang looking a bit disorganised on their back line. But either way, through the chaos, they have been able to survive for the time being. Velocity sees three players, sees one of his own. It was a completely free right area off the pitch. He had space, and he's just thrown it into the danger area. An easy counter punch here for Ananas. Well, it was an unexpected play, and I feel like he wanted to take advantage of. But unexpected.
This game, oh my, what a save off the kickoff. It doesn't matter. It's still going in. I am at a loss for words. This game feels like a fever dream. The first goal, everybody just stopped in their tracks off of what we thought was a fake. It could have not been. Maybe it was. Who knows? Second goal was a 4v2. Velocity passes it directly to Devsy. Devsy hits an open net. Then it's a kickoff goal. Maybe we'll have another one here. Who knows? Let's just get wacky. I feel like that's what's going on. There it is. Oh no, Glifty can hit the post. Velocity will try, but what is going on? Motion in the midfield, and there it is. There's the equalizer anyway. Help me out, Pegasus.
Goal! Motion! Able to beat all three plays. It was a fantastic infield pass. There was another play that just seemingly came out of completely nowhere. I'm at a loss for words for some of these plays, but what sometimes happens, but an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, will bring on that cliche. Sometimes you need a bit of chaos. You need a bit of the whimsy, the wacky, to break away perfect play. Because just like a game of chess, the perfect game is a draw. And well, you gotta add that bit of chaos, you've gotta add that bit of unexpectedness, play your opponent a bit out of boot, and you can fight your way through.
On top of themselves yet again is Ananas gang. That is one thing that is held true despite the craziness that is this game. Ananas gang have not been able to avoid tripping over themselves, and yet they're still in this. That's a good save from Velocity. Gahiris trying to play this up the sidewall. Dunk by Devsy will force this ball into the midfield, almost falling on top of it for that double tap. Here's Gahiris. Oh, really awkward there, but Devsy has Gahiris on the far wall, off the ceiling with the flip, trying to get over the top of Motion. He does well to position himself in a spot to stimmy that attempt. Velocity booming clear off his own back wall. We're underneath 30 seconds now in golden goal territory.
Certainly, the ball back's in field. Gahiris gets that ball out wide. It's popped up high. Motion will take it. Low velocity. Well positioned. Well worked. And out of nowhere, they somehow string this one across. They looked so awkward. They looked like they could have never calculated a play like that. But this is the best that we are dealing with. And you can create miracles out of nothing. Reality bending to the will of velocityrll as they look to put themselves on tournament points.
And this is a roster now in the side of Ananas gang where you just have to look at the state the series is in and accept the uphill climb that is now positioned in front of you. With the two games that we've seen on stream, added in the game advantage given to Velocity for their performance earlier, we're facing a sweep. And none of these games have felt necessarily dominated by Velocity. But it's the small things that are culminating over the course of one 5-minute frame that gives them the advantage time and time again. They're faster to this ball. They get this boost in their opposition's corner. they're able to find that last second save. I mean, these small little tallies that at the end end up being a massive piggy bank full of change that you can cash in for a win. If you are an ananas gang right now, and I know I'm kind of flipping this question on you because, you know, the coaching experience and what have you. If you were in that call, what are you telling them?
It's all up to that next game. Listen, 5 minutes left on the clock, 0-0 at the top of your screen. That is all that matters in this point. You can't think of past results. It's all about what you do next. What is done is done. Step up, be confident. You know you're good enough to win this tournament. Knowing these players, they entered with that mindset. And we are going to continue and perhaps even leave with that same thought. And starting off, Nick Beast with the attack. Unable to get that opening goal, but already able to pile on a little bit of pressure, which, to be fair to them, it's felt like they've been able to do every single game that they played against Ananas gang. And I do just want to bring up an unfortunate stat. They're currently 0-6 against this team in the Redirect Monthly, only 5 of which, of course, being played on the pitch. It's not the greatest of records, but when you look at the games individually, it's always felt possible that they have been able to break their way through. It's been possible to steal a game or two. But there's something about Ananas gang where they are so consistent and just always able to break past the lines. And Desi, with a clever little play, is able to sneak through here with a delayed flick.
Yeah, Defsy's showing just that. The timing on that is immaculate. To chip it over at the last second, the top of velocity, sneak it underneath the south of the crossbar. Gives this team a much-needed lead. Can they hold on to it, though? They haven't been able to in any of these games, and they will immediately concede their advantage back to the opposite side. We find ourselves all tied up, and all it took was maybe 2 seconds elapsed off that clock before that scoreline went back to 1-1.
Just consider it 0-0. Continue the action, bring it on here. Ananas gang are able to get themselves off to that great start. They got themselves a goal. They had a lot of possession as well. They did squeeze out that opportunity. So it's shown that they can do it time and time and time again. You just need that to be the case when that clock's on 0-0. Defsy looking for his second velocity. Able to keep that one out, and now it's Nick Beast off that left wall, unable to find it. Now Motion, looking for a backboard play of his own, just like his teammate did before, but Gaheris learns from former mistakes and camps there on the back wall to defend it this time. Nick going alone, and both of these back walls battered and bruised by the end of this game, I'm sure.
Velocity towards the ceiling, pinching it along, buying any sort of time and space. It has been a precious commodity in this series for either side. Gaheris leaves the ball, grabs the boost, but his third man's demoed. If Glifty can get this to the front, it's a goal. Good pre-jump interception there by Gaheris along his own left corner. Although a double jump in front here. Oh, the challenging Glifty gets demoed, and now Defsy. Oh, trying for the net, can't find it, sent back the other way by the respawning Glifty. Nick Beast can't find that dunk there, so his teammates will be tasked to handle this all by themselves in a 2v3. They're both on 0 boosts. A flurry of demos come out across the pitch. Velocity goes, fakes over, tries under, and that one ricochets hard off the post.
The mind games just about don't pull themselves off. This counter-attack might is high, and we see Motion waiting on that back ball. Glifty was already up, velocity on the follow. No one able to find the target. So the scoreline remains 1-1, and still waiting for that quality to be broken. Velocity definitely having a majority of these chances. Glifty looking to provide. Velocity is there yet again. Gaheris always been that defensive presence, able to hold this one out, but now on the offensive side, on the battle, 1-2 plays attempted. And unfortunately, that one peters out. But more warnings being sent here by both teams.
Ananas gang fighting tooth and nail to find any sort of leverage they can in this series. Get out of their half, generate some quality scoring opportunities. But all that's been sounded so far is one goal and the consistent sound of epic saves in their ear. Can you hear us? There's another one denied by motion as an epic save rings true. But no further than Devsy does this score the streak continue. That save by motion also removed his own defender, enabled that look for his teammate, and Devsy wasn't gonna let that one go.
It's Nick Beast and Devsy. That dynamic duo managing to make something happen, and there they are yet again! Their combination plays regaining them the lead in this game and potentially bringing themselves back with the fight in this series. Velocity looked like the favourite game for, well, about 3 minutes of this game, to be completely honest with you. It looks like it was over and done with, but Ananas with the late drama. Devsy and Nick Beast, chemistry coming into full form here in the grand finals.
Lifty towards the back wall. They don't want to attempt any games, having the backflip out of it, but that allows Devsy to sink in for the save. He'll continue to follow that up with a dunk in motion. Has to use his own corner to help him out, utilize that fourth man in the arena. But they're sending the house, not getting anything for it. Yet another insurance goal gonna fall in. And it looks like we may in fact see a game 5 after all.
And there is the fourth goal for Ananas gang. All combinations of assists and goals between Devsy and Nick Beast. That is camaraderie. That is experience between two players shown at the very highest level. In the thick of it, 3 rounds against them in this grand final. But until that fourth, you have to stay fighting. This game is over and done with. We will be heading into a game 5 with Ananas gang having full momentum.
A new breath of life. CPR given to this team. We have a pulse. Ananas gang played their hearts out. When they were tried, when they were tested, they met the call in dominant fashion. Outshot them, nearly outsaved them, and the dynamic duo of Devsy and Nick Beast, like you said, Pegasus, coming out on full display here. One game at a time, one goal at a time. They've succeeded in their first step. Can they keep it going? Because as we prefaced all of this, velocityrll, such a quality caliber roster. For you to outplay them for 20 minutes straight, at minimum, that's a tall task. They've done it for 5 and they've done it well. But can they repeat that headed into game number 5 here? I almost lost track of our games there.
Same mentality has to be maintained by these players. It's about what's at the top of your screen. 0-0, 5 minutes remaining. You can have your high from getting your first win against this roster. But do not fall into complacency. You are still on that final life. And tournament success can be stripped away from you in these very 5 minutes. Glifty looking for those passing plays with velocity, followed up again here by Motion, the third man, looking to get himself involved one more time into this attack. Glifty again holding it in that corner. We see those demos come out. They were struggling to break through there, so the easiest way to open yourself up with some space. But Ananas gang so quick on the recovery, bring that pressure. They might get the first goal, but Motion, an early save, which I feel like is going to be vital for the flow of this game.
He's done well there to bail out his own teammate. That was a clearance attempt that really just found itself into the hands of the other team right in front of their own net. So Motion doing well to retreat in time and find that save. Here, not so much. Committing as the second man, not making any contact. You see the entire team retreating and panicking now. The double commit comes out. All of them very low on boost besides Motion, who picked up that full in the corner. They'll do the hard work of getting it towards the net, but no further. Velocity keeping it. This pressure on. This one over to Nick Beast, looking for a little bit of help, but that's behind his teammates. Now he has to crawl up himself. Try to get in the way of anything that he can. Glifty towards the net, playing bully in front. Can't find the demo, but finding the dunk is Velocity. This one back into the corner where Nick Beast will be happy to take a little bit of time, play a bit patiently, and catch a breath for him and his team.
With demo coming out, and Motion has some space, has some boosts as well, some airtime. Looks to beat Gaharis, but he's definitely been the most solid player on Ananas gang. The other two haven't quite held that, and that was a very dangerous position coming from the whiff. Nick Beast looking to create something offensively, but now it's Glifty wanting that backcourt, wanting that second touch, but Gaharis always so hard to break through, but now looking to take advantage. Now our first player has committed himself, double commits happening, and these two players committing themselves to that front post, but hold on a minute, from their own corner, they found an opening. And Gaharis has somehow gotten himself the goal. The deadlock is broken. And I don't think it was in the fashion a lot of us were expecting.
Yeah, I understand the rotation coming out here from Velocity. It's a very tight, aggressive, offensive rotation where they're really moving exclusively in the deep third that we see for Ananas Gang. And as that third man's coming out, you expect your second man to find a challenge to buy them time. When that challenge didn't come through, it just led to an open net. That's the risk and reward you play with that system. And as I was talking, we did see a Rule 1, so we have a temporary 2v2 on the pitch.
Oh.
This should be, I mean, the two in play here for Ananas Gang are the two that were stellar for you previously, and they're almost cashing in here, forcing a fantastic save by the way of Velocity.
And well, they've lost that solidity that Gaharis supplies to this team. And you see the two players. Oh my goodness, the pass from Dempsey. Looking to get the sidewall, but of course, at the cost of that solidity, you do maintain that chemistry between these two players, which have been teamed for quite some time now, won so many 3v3 tournaments together, the likes of Benelux, of course, on multiple occasions for the likes of Godalians, and placed highly with other organisations as well when they've gone their separate ways. There's Nick Beast. Looks to break forward versus Velocity. Velocity, also a player that is experienced in the 1v1 playlist, so in these isolating positions, he's going to be really tough to beat. Here he is now. Ariel will find that top left. And that is perfection. So well placed here. And the camera, instead of focusing on what was a wonderful shot there from Velocity, of course focusing on the two players that made it a 2v2 in the first place.
Honestly, I respect Rule 1s. I especially respect players that understand a Rule 1 doesn't have to be you continuously driving into the other person the entire time. Having a little fun with it, that's great. Gaharis, maybe he's a little bit rusty after being in that Rule 1, not exactly the best touch off his own corner, and just like that, in the blink of an eye, we have two unanswered for velocityrll. And what is, I mean, a match point, every game here on out is going to be a match point for them. But when you're Ananas Gang, you had the lead, now you don't. This is a very difficult and dangerous position to be in.
Certainly, and well, Ananas Gang had that lead. It broke apart after the game got reduced to a 2v2. And if Velocity do go on to win this, that is game, set, and match for the entire tournament. They will be your champions. They will collect an extra £40 from the prize pool for a total of 70 already. Both teams guaranteed themselves 30. Final 5th 15 seconds. Ananas gang desperately need that goal. Glifty on the ball. The demo comes out. Velocity forward. Glifty yet again. But Dempsey has the ball high off the wall. You see Nick Beast already pre-jumping for it. He knows that this is crucial, but the connections haven't quite been made. And velocityrll will take the win. Of course, Velocity, as the namesake, will be one of those players. Motion taking it as well. And the glyph that keeps on giving gets themselves this championship. It is the final one of the year, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great way to close it out with two teams of very high caliber going up in the world constantly of a redirect monthlies. And well, this will be the end of the action for this year, but I hope all of you will join us for the next. I will just say before we congratulate our finalists that sign-ups are already open, of course, on Start GG, as has been tested for this tournament. And I must say, it did go extremely well. But what have you got to say about Velocity and Ananas gang, Konzek? The team Velocity, not just the player.
Yeah, I'm named after him. Sure, you can see why. Very well fought series in the end here. I thought Ananas gang brought a lot to the table, but I think time and time again, velocityrll showed you why they were the better team. More consistent plays, faster to the ball, just doing all the little things right. And at this caliber Rocket League, that's the only thing you can hope for. Do that and you will win. A little bit shaky there, dropping that game, but never once did they feel like they were out of control of this series, let alone the previous series that we saw them in as well. Dominant fashion for them. They played well. Ananas gang, you left a lot out there. We saw a late surge, but just a little bit too late, I think. Props to both teams. Congrats to everybody in the money. I mean, we have the payout coming through here. $70, or excuse me, in my American self. 70 to first place, 30 to second. Thank you to everybody who came out here and played in this prestigious tournament. I mean, groundbreaking for these redirect monthlies, and good luck to all of these teams that use this as a stepping stone to the open 3v3 coming this weekend. I had a joy in the booth with you yet again, Pegasus. The teams made it that way, but you especially are such a pleasure to be around. So thank you for allowing me to share the spot in the booth with you. I had a great time.
Absolutely. I mean, pleasures across the pond to be alongside you. It's great to have you here, of course, and I'm sure we'll cast together a lot more. And of course, we got to give a thanks to the org owner, production man, observer, on
the one-man show. He does it all.
The fresh return from the FIFA World Cup as well. It is, of course, Hazard, and I like that you mentioned that it's pounds, not dollars. Maybe if it was dollars, his pockets would be looking a lot nicer after these tournaments, but he runs them all solo. They've been fantastic. Also, a shout out to Ranked Enjoyers, who are also on this stream and taking that bronze spot. All the players that signed up, we really hope we see you return in 2025. Like we said, those sign-ups are open. Of course, follow Redirect on the likes of Twitter. Join the Discord. I believe we do have a command for that. It is Redirect Esports on Twitch and Redirect GG on Twitter. Oh, there are commands for both of those. I've just read that on my screen. But before we close things up, Konzek, would you like to shout out your socials as well?
It's just Quanzak everywhere. Very easy to find, very unique name. Would appreciate a follow over on X. That's where you can catch anything that I'd be casting, and in the future, look to be spreading out a lot from, but X will be my hub for where you find that. And yeah, thank you all for having me. I'll throw it back over to you, Pegasus, after wishing everybody a happy holidays. Since the next time we'll see you, we'll be in 2025.
Of course, it is Sir Pegasus on all socials, just like Quanzek. I'm lucky to hold that on basically everything. Of course, RLCS is upcoming, so if you enjoyed anything you heard here, maybe check out the likes of myself and Quanzek, and of course, producer Hazard as well. He's a one-man army, but I tell you what, when he's alone solo focused on one thing, imagine how powerful he can be. That's Hazard Prod on Twitter for him, and if you find him on Discord, I know he's got all his business contacts linked as well. And, you know, you want someone who has, you know, done the likes of the World Cup. There isn't much better out there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please follow the stream, follow the Twitter. Like we said, sign up for the next one. This was the Redirect Monthly number 18. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and good night.
I've got you hanging on my words. Taste so sweet even when they hurt. You want